Hello everyone, I am Crystal Cruz. Today we are talking with Keep Midland Beautiful Director Doreen Womack, who is just about to retire. Doreen, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Crystal. I love talking with you.
Well, I have to preface this interview by saying that Doreen and I have known each other for 20 plus years.
Yes.
I serve on the Keep Midland Beautiful board, and we've known each other a really long time. You have been the executive director of Keep Midland Beautiful for nearly 18 years.
Yes. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun, and it really has been fun. I've loved every minute of it. You know, my husband and I will both be retired. We're not going to move away from Midland, so you may see me out and about at events.
Well, you are very, very passionate about what you do. I know this. We were laughing a few minutes ago because we said, wish we had some old video of us at our cleanups and stuff that we did. You have really made a lot of accomplishments. And I know and there's several things you should be proud about. One of those things being that recycling in Midland, big changes during your tenure as executive director. Let's talk about the recycling efforts that you made and what we're seeing today.
Well, first I need to preface it with, I did nothing by myself. It was something that I had a lot of volunteers and a lot of people who possibly had the same passion or maybe got tired of hearing me talk about it, that we needed to be able to give our residents better options for recycling. And when I started, the recycling was basically at the schools. And it was in containers that looked, in fact, they were painted the same color as the dumpsters were for trash. And so you can imagine I am so sorry. I cannot think of the word. Contamination.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
So there was contamination issues, but it went from schools, only being recycling at schools, to being able for the whole town to recycle. That's a big accomplishment, and there was a real demand for it, actually.
Oh, definitely. We were so lucky to also have a board member from HEB on the board who allowed us to start setting big open top containers that were painted different colors than our trash containers to start collecting in the public areas of our city paper and cardboard, and I think we had aluminum too. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, and we've actually kind of grown a little bit from there. It's now we have electronics recycling, which was kind of unheard of way back in the day. You helped start that as well.
Right. We didn't have a Texas Recycles Day, which we now have every November. And there was a real need for it because our society, very fast, our technology started to change, and we needed an area or a day, I guess, to set aside to collect those electronics so they would go someplace besides the landfill. So we started doing that. We had great partners with Midland College, of course, City of Midland. They've been a partner that we just couldn't do the things that we've done for all these years. And the tires that we collect that day, all of that was something that just wasn't happening local. So it would be great if we could do that every day of the year, but it just doesn't happen in West Texas. And many people don't realize, because we don't have industries in our area that are using the items that are being recycled to remanufacture or remake items. We are a long ways away from regular recycling centers. So that is why we can't recycle glass or other things that the larger communities in Texas can do. So I feel fortunate that we can recycle what we can right now and encourage everybody to start doing it if they haven't already.
Well, and that's really important because, you know, there's a new iPhone every year. There is a new computer every year. We keep upgrading our technology, and they all use precious metals that can be reused.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we actually have a group that comes out of Dallas, and they're here for 1 4-hour stint on that day, and we'll collect anywhere from 1 to 3 semi-truckloads. And as the electronics began to get smaller, the need for 3 semi-trucks wasn't as much. But if a resident that is viewing right now hasn't been to Texas Recycles Day, oh gosh, you need to come out, because you really don't have to do anything once you get there. Our volunteers will unload it for you. We've got, a reuse group will be there, so you can bring items that are gently used, that can be reused. It's turned into a great event, and it is something that is an expectation of the people who live here and use it. They would be very sad to see Texas Recycles Day go away.
Let's talk about another one of your passions, which is water conservation. That's been really big for you. There was a shift in Keep Midland Beautiful to that as well.
Right. Well, waste management has always been part of our mission, but it was always the 3 R's of reduce, reuse, recycle. And now we've added, rebuy and refuse and those R's. But the big waste management that we folded in was water awareness. And that is just really being so aware of the amount of water that you're using. We live on the edge of a desert, and I am, and have been for quite some time, genuinely concerned about having enough water for our kids in the future. And it's important that we just be really aware of not overusing. You can go the other way too. I mean, I've seen people who have just completely stopped watering any of their plants or trees or anything like that. Our trees are really valuable to our community and to your property, so don't stop completely, but just be really aware, water right, and don't misuse it for no reason.
Well, we live in a desert, so
we do.
We really do need to do that. And that's important, because some years we're in a drought and some years we're not, but it seems lately we've been seeing a lot of drought.
Yes, and that's really how it all started. When we really, our lake levels really went down. Oh gosh, I don't know, it's been 20 years or 15 years ago now, or anyway, it's the drought happened, the city reacted. They asked Keep Midland Beautiful to be part of that education for the community, which we were glad to do, but we've continued it even when lake levels haven't been down, because it doesn't make any difference. And all over the nation, really, people struggle with not having enough water, and then at times having too much. So just being aware is the most important thing.
Well, another part of Keep Midland's Beautiful mission is beautification. We have our litter cleanups. We try to do those types of things, but we've done a little bit of a shift lately. And recently, I would like to talk about that beautiful art installation that is down off of Wall in Front.
Yes, really proud of it. It turned out so nice. Girl with Balloons is what we call her. And it was an idea that came up several years ago with board members from Keep Midland Beautiful on what could be done to some areas that had been landscaped in the past, with actually award money that Keep Midland Beautiful had gotten from Keep Texas Beautiful and TxDOT. And the landscape projects were no longer beautiful. They had died out because when they were put in, there wasn't a water source. So the organization did say, we will plant nothing if there is not water to it. And what will we do with these areas that really could use some beautification? And we came up with the art project. So the first one was actually Volunteer Park on Big Spring, the Midland mural. which
if you've
we
seen
love.
that,
Yes.
we love that one actually because a lot of people take selfies there. It's
They
the
do.
one, yeah, it's right by the YMCA.
Christmas cards and
Christmas
graduation
cards.
pictures, and yeah, we're equally proud of it. But we went with a different direction and got a sculpture done by an artist out of Reno, Nevada, and it took us a couple of years to get the project done, but it was installed this spring, and the reaction to it in the community has just been amazing. People love it. And so the possibility, if we can find the funding, to continue to do art projects in our entryways and rid the old landscaping that has died or is in the process of dying, we'll do that.
And when you don't have to water an art sculpture.
No, you don't. I mean, it's not very much maintenance at all, and I think you'll see a lot more people going that direction.
Well, you have a lot of accomplishments. We've talked about those. Let's talk about the litter in town. You know, recently you and I discussed the litter issues that everybody's been talking about with the plastic bags, trash around town. Now, Keep Midland Beautiful does what's called a litter index. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the litter index and what do you see as the issues facing us right now when it comes to this type of litter?
The litter index is an annual index that we do that ranks what the litter looks like in the same areas every year. So this is a scientific study that was developed by Keep America Beautiful years ago, and we've continued to do it year after year. On a scale of 1 to 4, you rank areas that you drive by each year on that 1 to 4 level, 4 being the most littered and 1 being not littered. So by doing the same areas, you can kind of see trends. If there's an area that has been developed, it might have been a 4 one year and now maybe it's a 2 because somebody developed that area. It's the only way that we know of to really score our community because we have areas that are so pristinely non-littered and we have areas that are very, very littered. We usually rank about 1.8 to a 2.1. They balance each other out, which means that we're a community that almost always has some litter visible. And we know that for a fact, right?
Well, you drive into town and
yes.
you're seeing it right now.
Right,
And
right.
people are also dumping things like these tires that you see right there. That's an issue as well.
Yes, and I think it's probably been the thing that after 18 years, I certainly wish our community looked different after, being there for that length of time. But I believe until, we convince people that whether they're here for a short amount of time or if they're here for a lifetime, that if they develop the motto of love where you live, that they'll take care of the area rather than being and treating it as something that they're just temporarily here for. Our wind doesn't help, but I don't think you can blame it all on the wind. I mean, shutting the dumpster lids and being sure that you tie your bags. It's such a simple thing that you need to remind and actually convince people makes a difference because any loose trash is going to become litter, and we see it a lot on our highways and byways. We see litter blowing out of the backs of trucks, but we also see it coming out windows of cars. So you can't really blame the trucks either. So it isn't a situation where you need to point a lot of fingers or do blame, but it is an area that as a community I wish people were more concerned about.
There are things people can do though.
Yes,
there are
definitely.
things people can do. Keep Midland Beautiful hosts citywide cleanups.
Yes.
You can do trash for cash. Let's talk a little bit about what you hope for the future and seeing people doing a little more volunteering.
Oh yes. since COVID, and I know that people have probably heard this before from other nonprofit organizations or from ours, that we have less volunteers since the pandemic than we did before. And I think people got used to staying home, and nothing changed in our community as far as need. We still have the same issues that we had before that time, and coming out for community cleanups, I know that you and I have been out picking up cigarette butts and laughing at the same time. I mean, people don't realize that it can be a real bonding and actually fun experience.
And you find some unusual stuff out there.
Yes, you do, and that can be a lot of laughter in itself. But you know, I think that just reminding people, please, that problem is still very evident in our community. In fact, the Don't Mess with Texas program has told us that the area that we are in, the Permian Basin, is the most complained about area as far as litter by people who come in from other states and by our own Texans who come to West Texas.
That's kind of shocking.
Yes.
That doesn't feel really good.
No, it doesn't feel good at all. And so I don't in any way want to guilt somebody into saying, you know, you've got to go out and do a cleanup, but we really want you to want to live in a community that's clean. It's not even just a sightly thing. It's obviously a issue of health. I mean, you have the tires like you talked about, and piles of litter and bags everywhere that have maybe gotten wet or whatever, and people have to go clean that up. It is not a healthy thing to have to go into those situations and do the cleanup. And so we, of course, always give a appropriate area to people. We want to have them bring their kids out, you know, and mentor them on community pride. So we ask, you know, we'll give them an area, but we struggle in not having enough people to clean up areas that probably haven't been touched in a couple of years because we don't have the appropriate group to go do it. We need adults to do it.
Well, you know, you're very passionate about this job. You've always been very passionate about it. What drew you to this job?
Well, I'm not from here originally. You know, I've been here over 32 years. So this is my home. I grew up in Montana, and was surprised when I came here all those years ago to see the litter condition. And I just really believe that there's beauty everywhere. We have some incredible sunrises and sunsets. We have the ability to go to the I-20 Wildlife Center and feel the nature and see nature there, and just a great community of people. They're, you know, West Texans, Midlanders are fantastic. So I believe in the community, and I love where I live, and it just felt natural to want to be part of the organization. So I feel really lucky that I have been.
What are you going to miss most about the job?
Crystal Cruise.
Oh, no.
I will miss you, sweetie.
Well, I'll miss
but,
you too.
Like I said, I'm going to be around, definitely. The volunteers made some really good friends, and just being able to help some people that aren't aware of all of the things that you can recycle gives you some satisfaction. Where people can take certain items. I mean, it's not just the Citizens Collection Station. We'll take phone calls and send them to the reuse stores or someplace like that. It's a lot of conversations with people trying to solve some issues like the electronic recycling. People will call and they don't know what to do with it. They know they're not supposed to throw it away, but they don't know what to do. And so we ask them to keep it until November when we have our event, and 9 times out of 10 they do that. So people are willing to do the right thing if you make it easy for them. And so that's what we've tried to do for a long time.
You think that's the key to it?
I do, yeah.
Simplicity.
Simplicity. We are a society that really, really likes simple things. We're also a very disposable society. We have grown into let's just buy it new rather than reuse it or try to fix it, because industry has really sent us that direction. And you can't really fight that, but you can do as much, you can make as much of a difference as you want to. Those opportunities are there. You just have to look for them, and you can call KMB, and if we don't know, we'll research it for you and find it out.
Let me ask you this. So, not much longer, a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
you're going to be retiring. What are your plans for retirement? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Sleep in. I think, we're going to do some traveling. There are a lot of things. We bought an older home in Midland, and we've been remodeling it ever since. So there's, some things that I want to do there. Read some books that I started and never finished because of being busy doing other things. Spend more time with family, and I love music and I love dancing, so hopefully I'll do some more of that.
I hope you do. I hope you do a lot of dancing.
Thanks. I hope I do too.
All right. Well, we are going to miss you at Keep Midland Beautiful. You have been fantastic. You've made strides, great strides in the community to help the community look better, and we appreciate everything you do.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Keep
And
Midland Beautiful is a great group.
It is a great group. And thank all of you for watching. We're going to send you off with a happy retirement, Doreen.
Thanks.